So today we're talking with Noelle Nielsen of Real Broker. Noelle runs the Minnesotan team up in Minnesota, and we're going to be picking her brains about what it's like running a team here at Real Broker and getting her feedback on our culture, our technology, the training, and the community here at Real. Noelle, how are you doing today?
I'm good, Malcolm. It's good to see you. Thanks for having me
Yeah,
on.
of course. Yeah, it was really great to see you. Just maybe a month ago, I saw you at a video conference, and yeah, I actually met Noelle for the first time in 2019 at a private video focused mastermind of just a dozen agents or so, really focused on video, and we've been friends ever since. And so I'm super excited to see you come over to Real Broker, join this community as well. Do you mind telling us a little bit about your real estate career and kind of how did you end up here at Real Broker?
Yeah, thanks for asking. I have been licensed. I just hit my 10-year anniversary, actually, which caused me to do some reflection on how I got to where I am and where I started. I had a
Mhm.
really similar journey to a lot of people and how they get licensed. I wanted to sell my own house. I'm one of those agents. I got my license because I wanted to sell my own house. And it snowballed from there. We were, three young kids at home. I was looking for a little additional income. I decided I liked the adventure of selling our house, started trying to do a little bit more often with other people. And I started using my photography background and turning my camera into a marketing tool for myself and for my clients. And it snowballed. We ended up launching a team. That team grew really quickly into 10 agents. My team ran out of space. I ended up finding a new space. And with that, I also started a brokerage. And that brokerage launched in about 2018, kind of around the same time that you and I started getting to know each other through the video community. And that brokerage grew quickly, grew to 20 agents. And then we kind of launched onto the cloud-based model from there because I was having agents reaching out around the country wanting to have partnership, and the little brokerage that we had couldn't offer that. And so once I launched into that cloud-based model at that time, that was like in the 2019 2020 timeframe. It was eXp back then, and we grew that group into about a 600 agent network. And now I am very excited to call Real my new home for our team and for our group. It's still pretty fresh. We've only been over for about 6 weeks, but we are very excited and really excited about what we're seeing.
Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah, 600 agent network is definitely a heck of an accomplishment. I'm feeling pretty confident you can rebuild that up here, probably even stronger at Real Broker. And yeah, I mean, to your point, at that time frame, Real wasn't even in all 50 states. We didn't hit that threshold until October of last year. So I feel like
Yeah.
last year is the starting line. We got at the starting line, and now like we're really growing and really expanding. Well, now that you've been here for 6 weeks, what do you think? Let's kind of break it down. What do you think about our technology that we have here at Real? And what's your feedback on that? How do you and your team leverage that?
Yeah, honestly, the tech shocked us. So when we were finally able to just take off our jersey, I love that analogy, and I know others have used it, but I really love that analogy because when you are wearing a jersey passionately for another brokerage, a lot of times you will not sit down and actually open-mindedly look at something. But when we finally got to that phase and started looking at the back end systems of Real, I was mind blown. And I also was wondering, why did this seem like it was such a secret? Like, why are agents so unaware of the tech that is available through Real and how unique and special it is that they're doing what they're doing? And so when we started looking at it and seeing that it's just a simple one click, one backend, one system, everything's all tied into the same place. You're not clicking on tiles and being taken into another system or outside of that framework. Everything is happening within the one framework. And I think too, for a larger team leader, my team will fluctuate anywhere between 10 to 20 agents in a given year. We need to have the ability to go in and change different structures for each teammate individually, depending on what our deal is with them and where they're at in their business, and the technology that Real is putting in place. And some of it is new too. Like I am learning things at Real with the pro team system that I just recently learned. Not even all of the Real teams that have been around for a long time are in the system quite yet. It's that new. It's powerful. We are so excited about what we're going to be able to do with it and how detailed we're going to get with helping our teammates and making sure that their transactions are being accounted for exactly how they're supposed to be. The Leo, the AI, like the fact that everything is running within the same framework, and then the AI can pull everything out of that framework. You cannot do that with systems like SkySlope and other brokerage backend systems. It's not a smart enough tech to be able to pull from all of the different transactional things. And a lot of the questions, even that I'm still a broker, and a lot of our questions that we would get and field every day are simple questions that now that AI is actually, it's real, it's legit, it's legitimately fielding a lot of those questions that I used to spend a good chunk of my day answering.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think you're right that like our technology is one of our strongest features that we have. And the pro team software is kind of nerdy, like it's on the back end. Only like team leaders really care about that. But I saw an interview that I did with Darren Lingiel, who had an independent brokerage of 100 agents, joined Real. And what he says is that he has agents on 2 different cap splits within his team, and he used to have to spend hundreds of hours for his admin to track every transaction to see who's capped on their team, who hasn't capped on their team. Now he can save that money he spends on the admin and does it all automatically on the back end with this pro teams, where you can charge different members different caps and different fees within your team, which seems simple. It seems like not a big deal, but that is a huge deal for a lot of big team leaders like that.
It's funny because Darren and I recently met, and we sat next to each other at a Real leadership event recently. And we had that exact discussion because my background also was with running an independent brokerage. And, you know, we were kind of just comparing models and frameworks. And this is the other piece that I love about Real is it's just seriously very collaborative. The whole nature of things, you know, like, hey, how are you going to use this tech? How are you using this tech for your team? What is your plan with it? And, you know, a lot of people will think, well, that's just a simple piece. But honestly, sometimes it's the simple things that a team leader or somebody in that position, they're not thinking about that coming into a brokerage, right? They're looking at splits, they're looking at financials, they're looking at like the basics of tech. But then once they're over, those simple things can actually make a night and day difference with your experience and your agents' experiences. Like if you're a team leader and your agents, their splits get messed up on a deal, do they blame the brokerage or do they usually blame you as a team leader? Well, they're going to blame you as the team leader, right? And so if you can partner with a brokerage that offers something like this, and honestly, I haven't seen it at other brokerages like what Real has. I truly don't think anyone else can compete with the tech that Real has. And having met Pritesh, who is the, you know, CTO at Real, I've met him now a couple of times. I am so impressed with that guy. And honestly, I sat in a room and I watched him ask the agents for input into the tech, ask the agents for feedback, genuinely wanted to know, how is it working? How is it working for your groups? How is it working for your teams? What do you see? What kind of things do you want to see in the future? And then they're implementing it. And I don't think anyone else is doing that to that level.
One of the things I love about Pritesh is that he says that his design style is he wants to make it so intuitive that you don't need a tutorial on how to use it. Just like when you use Gmail or Facebook, you don't need a tutorial. You just can figure it out by looking at it. And I think that very accurately describes all the tech that that he's developed for us.
Well, and I can be a testament to that because as we were coming in, it wasn't just me and my team that were onboarding. We brought a few other bigger teams and team leaders with us when we came in. And so far, 6 weeks in, I've had 0 complaints, which is nuts. just nuts
Yeah.
that we've not had a single complaint. And my teammates, yesterday we had our team call, and my teammates were all raving about how simple the system is to use, how excited they are about it. Well, then they're going to go out and they are going to be ambassadors for the brand as well, because now they're excited. And I feel like at a lot of other brokerages, especially the one that I just came from, a lot of team leaders come in, and their teammates just kind of happen to be a part of the brokerage because the team leader chose it. And
Right.
my mission has always been get the teammates to also be ambassadors of the brokerage brand and be passionate about it. And I don't think it could be any easier anywhere else than Real.
Right. 100%. And what do you think about the agent app that we have? Have you ever had anything like that before?
The Reason app.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Have you played
it's
with them?
oh yeah, I'm in it every day.
Yeah.
The thing that I love about it is that everything is in the app.
Mhm.
From where I was at previously, I had to have multiple apps on my phone going in, checking different things. If you're into agent attraction, it would be in a different app. If you were trying to get into your transactions, you definitely could not look at it the same way that you can look at it through the Reason app. And one of the cool things too, with coming in and being onboarded, there's a checklist built right into the app. Like you almost can't even use the app until you get through that checklist. And so as all the agents started coming in and downloading the app, like that's the first thing to do, then they could go through this checklist, and instead of getting 5, 10, 15 emails while they're onboarding from the brokerage, it's all just right in one app, and they're getting the stuff done so that they can get in and actually use the app. It's legit. It's really good.
God, I love that. And that's a great segue into the onboarding process. Like you're bringing on a larger team. What was that
Mhm.
experience like bringing on a team and onboarding into Real Broker?
Yeah, so far it has been so smooth. It's actually the thing that made me one of the most nervous about making the switch was just, is this going to be a great experience for everybody coming in? It has been smooth as butter. I just think that the way that the tech is built out for agents to come in and be able to download that app, have something there right in front of them, just on their phone, walk them through the process, uh, just even from filling out the application. As soon as the application is done, it's done in a really like tech way that is much different from a lot of the other brokerages. And so once that application is done, the system is so smooth and everything is so systematized that the agents were shocked at how quickly they were already showing up at Real and onboarded. And then their transactions started showing up right away. And I have no complaints. I am just surprised. And I think recently we heard a stat that there's another brokerage out there that is modeled to be a tech platform. And they have, I think, 400 people doing the same job that Real has hired 9 people to do.
Sounds
I don't know
about
if
right.
you heard that stat, right? It was Compass that had that stat. And what I really think is so interesting about that, just shows how powerful tech and leverage with tech can be in a model like this, where things can get caught or lost in the weeds if it hasn't been systematized correctly.
Yeah, absolutely. And you use the word platform. And I think that very accurately describes what Real has built with this Reason tech that they have. It is a platform. And now we have a Real Mortgage, which is using that same platform. And we have Real Title, a cloud-based title company using that same platform. So once you get that platform established, like you can really start expanding and growing from that. So now that you're being a team leader, you have 11 agents with you. I'm sure training for those agents is really important. Can you tell me a little bit about your experience with the training here at Real Broker and how that's been for your agents?
Yeah. So the training for me, even back when I had my own brokerage before we made our initial move, one of the reasons why I decided I didn't want to be an independent broker anymore was because the training for the agents was limited to my knowledge, what I was doing, what I was
Hmm.
bringing back to them. And honestly, once I moved into a cloud-based model, yes, there had been a university where people could go in and find training, but it was really complicated to find it. In fact, I, after being there for 5 years, sometimes struggled finding where the trainings were. And now coming into Real, one of the things that I was told about this, but I still was like, well, I'll see it when I believe it, right? I'll see it when I get there. I'll see if it's true for myself. And it is. When you go into Real Academy, because of the way that Real has modeled the platform on collaboration, there is so much genuinely good training being loaded onto the Real Academy platform. And it's, again, all accessible through that app, all through the same dashboard. And you can just log right into Real Academy. You can search. The system is smart because of the searching tools. You can search for what it is that you're looking for, and you can find dozens and dozens of trainings on that particular topic put out by great agents that are just putting stuff out there for their own agents, but then across the network, it's being shared with everybody at Real. It's an open platform. And that is something that concept, I tried to build something similar like that where I was at with trying to share and mastermind, but people really didn't want to give stuff out from outside of their paywall, right? Whether it was because they were trying to do it within their own, organization or silo, if you will, and then they were trying to keep that special. And I think having it all shared openly across the brokerage platform makes the brokerage model itself so much stronger, because we're only as strong as the next agent at the brokerage, right? And if we're all willing to collaborate and share our ideas, which has always been my thing, I'm an open book. I just think that is going to make the brokerage that much more sticky for the agents that are joining it. So like for me with my teammates, if they're looking for a particular topic and I'm not the guru on that subject, which would be a good chunk of the subjects, I will just say, hey, I might not be the best at systems, but go look at, Eric Hatch's stuff online, or go look at Malcolm's stuff on YouTube, or go look at, there's just so many great people that are at Real that are sharing their intel that I don't think anybody can compete with it.
I think you're right. So as a team leader, you can just be the source of the source. Say, hey, I want to learn about YouTube. Here's Malcolm's training. We'll learn about Facebook. Watch this video here. And I think you're right that I'm blown away by the quality of the training that we have here. And what's interesting is that Real Broker gives away more free stock and more revenue share than any other company. And what people don't realize is that has a huge impact on the culture, the community, and the training that we have here. Because we're owners in this company. We have a lot of ownership, and we're incentivized to provide the most value that we can. So now that you've been here for a little while now, you've gone to some events, you've met the CTO, you've met the president of the company. What do you think? What's your thoughts on like the culture and community that we have here at Real Broker, and how would you describe that community?
I would say it feels like home. And part of that for me is because, you mentioned that mastermind that we were at back in 2019 when nobody at that mastermind was at Real. No one was a part of it. And fast forward to today, almost everybody from that group has now, I think I'm one of the final people, has now migrated into this model. And it's in part because creators have a little bit different of a mindset than other agents, because they have something in them that they want to share with the world, right? It could be creation for real estate or creation for YouTube or, whatever it is that you're creating. And for some reason, as I was sitting from the other side of the fence where I was at and watching year after year go by and decision after decision be made, and people kept going to this model and watching why they were doing it, and then watching how they were doing it and what they were doing with it. I just kept wondering what was happening at Real. Why was everybody making that decision? And watching all of the creators putting out this content, I think what's interesting, I've gotten to know in the last 10 years, a lot of really high level producers in the industry, around the country at all different types of brokerages. I've gotten to know them. And there's a lot of those people that are at that level that don't understand content creators in real estate yet. They don't fully get it, right? But for me, I came into real estate already being a creator. That was something that I was already really passionate about, and I needed that outlet and need to be able to use it in real estate. And it's a different type of mindset when you just want to do something for fun or give something away because that's your nature. And that is the type of people that I see coming into this model. And, you know, to those high level producers that haven't had yet to do creation or be a marketer, I would challenge them back on that. If you're somebody that's watching this video and you're like, hey, that's fine, but I have my system set up and I'm great. Well, over the next 5 years, I think we're going to see the landscape of the real estate industry changing, and it's going to be listings that win the business. And you get the listings when you are the best marketer. That is our job as agents. And the best marketers also are the ones that are willing to give out information. That is what marketing is. It's how do you give the information away? How do you market? And when we have a group of people that are willing to do that with each other, just like you bringing me into this episode, right? You didn't need to reach out to me. You didn't need to invite me onto your platform, but you did because you have an interest in sharing with the world about all of these good things. And so I just think that the model and the collaboration, we are all excited when you see another content producer in real estate putting out something so good that you can't help but engage on it and like it and share it. You know, that is the model that we have here. And those are the type of people that have joined here. And I couldn't be more thrilled to be a part of this community. I am so excited. And I'm really excited to see what it brings out in the agents that have come with me on this journey, because a lot of them haven't had that opportunity yet. They haven't had that platform. They haven't been surrounded by that mindset yet to encourage them to go out, be unique, create, go do your thing. You will attract your tribe back. And whether that tribe is with, you know, business coming back in. Some of my tribe, they're not in real estate. My tribe are like my clients that have been cheering me on for the last 10 years. So I'm just really thrilled. I think it feels like home. It's so exciting for me to see where this is going to go, what's going to happen with it, and just to be a part of it. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I've always enjoyed being part of the video creator community with you and being involved in these Facebook groups like RETV back in the day, and super excited that now you're part of this community as well. So Noelle, if anybody wanted to reach out to you, what's the best way to follow you or get a hold of you?
Yeah, I'm old school still. I've got a good Facebook page going for myself. They can come find me, Noelle the Minnesotan, on Facebook or on Instagram. I think over the next year, I'm probably going to launch into creating a YouTube channel, but I've had success in the just being consistently showing up on those two platforms.
I love it. Well, you know, I know a guy that knows a thing or two about YouTube. I'll try to connect you guys. Maybe we can.
Yeah, please do.
All right, Noelle, I really appreciate your time today. I'll be seeing you at the annual Rise event this year.